The Arab Spring, 2010-2012. A series of protests and uprisings across the Middle East and North Africa, sparked by discontent with authoritarian regimes, corruption, economic inequality, and lack of political freedoms. The Arab Spring led to regime changes in several countries and ongoing conflicts in others. These events are just a snapshot of the rich tapestry of historical and political developments that have shaped our world. Each event has its own complexities and consequences, contributing to the story of human civilization. After the Arab Spring, the direction in post-dictatorship environments varied significantly across different countries in the Middle East and North Africa region. Here are some general trends and outcomes. In some cases, the Arab Spring led to the overthrow of long-standing authoritarian regimes, such as in Tunisia, where President Zine El Abidine Ben Ali was ousted from power in January 2011. Similarly, in Egypt, President Hosni Mubarak resigned in February 2011 after weeks of protests. In the aftermath of regime changes, there were attempts to transition towards democracy in several countries. Tunisia is often cited as the most successful example, with the establishment of a new constitution and holding of free and fair elections. However, the transition process has been rocky in other countries, with challenges such as political instability, institutional weakness, and the resurgence of authoritarianism in some cases. In countries like Syria and Libya, the Arab Spring led to protracted conflicts and civil wars rather than democratic transitions. These conflicts have resulted in immense human suffering, displacement of populations, and destabilization of the region. In other cases, regimes managed to survive by cracking down on dissent and maintaining control through repressive measures. For example, in Bahrain, the government suppressed protests with the help of security forces and support from neighboring Gulf states. One of the lasting legacies of the Arab Spring has been the empowerment of youth and the rise of political activism across the region. While the initial wave of protests may have subsided in some countries, the underlying grievances that fueled the uprisings persist, and youth continue to play a significant role in demanding change and advocating for reform. Overall, the Arab Spring marked a significant moment of upheaval and change in the Middle East and North Africa, but its legacy is still unfolding, with ongoing struggles for democracy, human rights, and social justice in many countries. The Arab Spring had varying effects on neighboring countries, depending on their political, social, and economic contexts. Here are some general impacts. The wave of protests and revolutions that characterized the Arab Spring often spread to neighboring countries, as people were inspired by the calls for political change and social justice. Some neighboring countries experienced similar uprisings and demands for reforms. The Arab Spring altered regional dynamics and alliances, leading to shifts in diplomatic relationships among neighboring countries. Some governments supported or opposed the uprisings based on their own interests and alliances, which sometimes strained relations between neighboring states. The Arab Spring had economic repercussions for neighboring countries, including disruptions to trade, investment, and tourism. Political unrest and uncertainty in one country could spill over into neighboring economies, affecting stability and growth prospects. Conflict and instability resulting from the Arab Spring, particularly in countries like Syria and Libya, led to large-scale refugee and migration flows to neighboring countries. This placed significant strains on infrastructure, resources, and social services in host countries, exacerbating existing challenges. Overall, the Arab Spring had far-reaching and complex effects on neighboring countries, shaping political, economic, and social dynamics across the region.